are coming to you live from the mouth of Hellgate Canyon in scenic Missoula, Montana, at Washington and Grizzly Stadium. Welcome to the NCAA Division I semifinal presented on ESPN by Internet Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Today, the Appalachian State Mountaineers take on the #1 seed Montana Grizzlies in an FCS semifinal matchup. As we take a look at the brackets, the winner quite simply moves on to Chattanooga for the title game, where they will face Villanova, the #2 seed, Friday, 8 Eastern, and you can see that game on ESPN2. Happy holidays and welcome to Missoula, everybody. Todd Harris, along with my partner, former UCLA tight end great Charles Arbuckle. This really is an FCS perfect storm. These two teams last met in 2000. That game went into overtime. Montana got the win. Appalachian State looking for some payback today.
Todd, when you look at it, the best from the east versus the best from the west, same elevation. I expect when you come here, you're going to have some snow, just all of those things happening with this outstanding Montana team, and App State winning the overtime.
Goes into overtime, and right off the bat, it's Montana that came out firing. This pass sealed the deal, and the Grizzlies would move on to the championship game, where they would move on and get that title done. So 2 titles. They've got one in '95. They've got one in 2001. There you see the most victories since 2000, and very heady company right there. Montana and Appalachian State 118 and 101 respectively in wins. Montana has won the toss. They have deferred. We'll step aside when we come back. FCS semifinal, a trip to the title is on the line. Appalachian State taking on the #1 seed, Montana Grizzlies. We've got a great game for you. Plus, on tap, the FCS Dynasty. We'll talk more about Appalachian State. Can they add another to their trophy case? And quite possibly the greatest upset in college football. Tiny App State went to the big house and knocked off the Wolverines. And of course, we'll have the buck stops here. He'll show us what Grizzly discipline is all about. So we are set to get things underway from Washington and Grizzly Stadium. Todd Harris along with Charles Arbuckle on a beautiful day for football. They say the winds are calm, but Charles, those winds are howling out of Hellgate Canyon.
They really are, and also, too, the crowd. I mean, when we walked down on the field, it wasn't completely crowded. This is one of the loudest stadiums for its size. You're going to hear these people going rabid for their Montana Grizzlies.
Brody McKnight set to kick it off for the Grizz. They won the toss. They have deferred. Radford and Frazier back to receive for the Mountaineers. And we are underway in Missoula. Radford has problem collecting it, gets it at the goal line. Cuts back, he'll get back to about the 17-yard line. So all things considered, a very nice return, and Armani Edwards in the offense comes on board as Cole Lockwood made the stop for the Grizzlies.
Great block down there by Sherman Holt for App State.
And there he is, the reigning Peyton Award winner, Armani Edwards. He is a senior this year, and the 2 losses for App State this year, Charles, he was unable to play, had a lawnmower accident, cut his foot, had 35 stitches. We'll get into that story a little later on. So on 1st and 10 from the 6-17. And that's what Armani Edwards can do. He was under pressure, runs all the way out to about the first down markers, tackled at about the 27-yard line by Alex Shaw, a pickup of 9.5.
Todd, they said when he got outside the pocket, they had to make sure that they get to him and hit him. And the contain has to stay there. So this offensive line for App State is going to try to get those ends, not to come around, but when they break contain, Armani Edwards is effective enough to get outside those defensive ends.
Head coach Jerry Moore in his 21st season. Most wins in SoCon history, just a class act. And he absolutely owns the town of Boone. What a great gentleman he is. On 2nd down and less than 1, they go to the ground game. Devin Moore gets the call, and he's got plenty of yardage for a 1st down. He picks up 4 for the Mountaineers.
The Grizzlies defense, you're going to see 4 or 5 guys get to the football, but they have to do that in order to stop a guy like Devin Moore. 17 touchdowns rushing on the year.
There you see the numbers on Appalachian State. Their ranking always in the top 10 for the last 7 or 8 years. First and 10, just inside the 30. Edwards back to pass, avoids one tackler, throws into traffic, and he goes up high to Brian Quick, who had all kinds of elevation but just could not bring it down.
Well, and there was pressure coming from inside. Shan Schillinger, is going to come. You're going to see that safety blitz. They can't pick him up, but what does Armani Edwards do? He's just so cool. You see how he gets outside? Now, Brian Quick, he almost came up with this. He's a former basketball player. Had he had more space, he was out of the stadium on that catch.
Second down and 10, ball resting near the 31 for the Mountaineers. Edwards out of the gun, fakes the pass, fakes the handoff, goes out to his right receiver. That's Matt Klein, who gets out on the bubble, turns the corner, and Klein will pick up 6 yards before he's tackled by Shan Schillinger.
I already like how this App State team is blocking downfield. You saw right there B.J. Frazier at the very end, able to just pick up a block and spring his receiver for more yards.
Head coach Bobby Haupt in his 7th season at Montana, 47-6 in the Big Sky. Third and 2 for the Mountaineers, ball resting at about the 38-yard line.
The Mountaineers had noise all week in practice just for this, so they could check off, and you see Devin Moore and Armani Edwards giving a signal to both sides of the line. Tyler Hobbs is offsides, but he's pulled off by Matt Ruff, I think, if they call it against the offense. Matt Ruff is trying to say it was Tyler Hobbs. Tyler Hobbs saying it was him.
It's all about selling it.
Yeah.
Offside. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty.
And it's Tyler Hobbs, the junior from Spokane, Washington, who gets caught.
We're going to see big 99 Tyler Hobbs right there just blasting Matt Ruff. And he comes off sides, and Matt Ruff doesn't really move, but I tell you who did. Ori Fry had a little flinch to him, but still, Tyler Hobbs too quick.
So that gives the Mountaineers a first down, ball resting at about the 44-yard line. Armani Edwards out of the gun. Back to pass, goes too high. He was looking for his tight end, Ben Jordan.
Talk to their offensive coordinator or the committee. Brad Glenn sits up top. He's the quarterback coach. He talked about looking for Ben Jordan, wanting to get him involved in this Tampa 2 coverage that Montana likes to run.
Second down and 10. Armani Edwards in the gun, empty backfield, 5 receivers. With time, looking downfield, has his man, reception made. That's Matt Klein, who comes up with a beautiful catch. And remember, 17 degrees, Charles. You threw me a few passes down on the field, and that stings.
And that was a bullet. You know, Armani Edwards, you talk about, can he throw the football? He's looking in the middle of the field where the umpire comes in, and watch, right there on the dig route. Perfect coverage by Shan Schillinger, but a great catch by Matt Klein, a former walk-on who leads this team in receptions.
14-yard pickup, first down, ball at the 42. Yes. Armani Edwards seeing something he's going to change up. Now remember, they do not huddle. Appalachian State has not huddled since 2003. Moore with the carry, gets to the line, and one may have wanted to stay with the previous play. Pickup of 1.
Well, all those checks come from the sideline, but here you're going to see the impact players. Armani Edwards, 30 total touchdowns this year. We're going to call his name a lot. You're going to see a lot of plays out of him. Then Devin Moore, the running back. The running game is key to this offense. He has to have a big game. And then on defense, Mark Legreese, 17 career interceptions, a player that we will talk about when their defense is out on the field.
Second down and 9. Ball resting at the 41 of Montana. Devin Moore in motion, now settles into the backfield. Edwards will flare it out to Moore. Moore's got room to run. Blockers out front, cuts back. He'll be close to first down yardage. Devin Moore with a nice piece of running there.
You know, Todd, every time they've come with the blitz, it's been picked up perfectly by App State. They've been able to pick up the blitz, and then Armani Edwards gets to his check down, Devin Moore. But I like the fact that they're blocking downfield. You see the receivers locking guys up and giving Devin Moore a chance to get to a third and short situation.
And that's what they're in right now, 3rd and 1 for the Mountaineers. Flag comes out, there's movement at the line.
That is the third time Ori Fry has flinched a little bit, and I think they finally caught him.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 64. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
He is the blind side for Armani Edwards since he's a left-handed quarterback. But right here, this young man is a good player for him, but the key is he flinches. You see that? Now they're holding hands, guys, just so they'll know that when the snap is gone, they can move. Now Ori just went a little bit too quick, and that's the crowd noise that gets you off kilter when you play here.
Jerry Moore looking on. That penalty takes them out of field goal range. Matt Klein goes in motion. 3rd and 5 for the Mountaineers. Has his man open, could not connect. He was looking for Blake Elder.
They had to change their play design. They probably could have run on 3rd and 1, but you see the difference that it makes, this loud noise at the stadium. They have done that all year, getting people to jump off sides and do things they don't want to do.
And Jerry Moore is going to roll the dice early here on 4th down. 6 of 15 on 4th down, but only 1 of their last 5. So here is Appalachian State. Ball resting at about the 32-yard line. Charles, what do you think they're going to run?
Well, it's in Armani Edwards' hands. He's got a choice of run and pass. You know that's going to happen with him.
Fakes to Moore, goes down the middle, has his man. Great coverage by the Grizzlies. Eric Stoll breaks it up. The transfer from Idaho State comes up huge for Montana, and the Grizzlies will take over when we come back. All tied up at 0, 10:39 to play here in quarter number 1. First, Montana. I can vouch for that, but that's a pretty good sign.
They get all crazy with it.
And talk about crazy, Charles. Now, I know there's that student body zeal, but it's 17 with the wind chill. It feels like 15. You better hope those kids' parents aren't watching.
I'm sure they are and saying, my crazy kids out there again.
Forecast is for snow showers. But an absolute beautiful day. We were on the field before kickoff, and the wind was gusting, but the players were all jacked up, ready to go. Montana takes over for the first time from the 32 after stopping Appalachian State on a 4th and 5. Andrew Sell, the quarterback. And this is the man, Mark Mariani. This is the guy that Appalachian State said we have to contain, number 80, DJ Smith on the stop for the Mountaineers.
Well, and the other guy that has to have a good game is Andrew Sell. You know, in order for Mariani or any receiver to have a good game, you have to have your quarterback playing well. He had to rotate a little bit earlier with the transfer from Oregon, Justin Roper, but he's really played well lately, and that's why Mariani is also playing so well.
Andrew Sell, the junior from Billings, Montana, led the Big Sky and 4th in the FCS in passing efficiency. On the handoff, they go to their primary back. That's Reynolds. Chase Reynolds muscles his way out to about midfield, picks up 6 yards, is tackled by DJ Smith, but not before a Montana first down.
Tom, they really wanted to do a good job with this offensive line. You see big Turan, Hillsland, 77 at 6'7", 320. If Chase Reynolds gets behind those guys, they're all 6'8", 6'7", 6'7". The shortest one is the center, Alex Verlank, at 6'2".
1st and 10 from the 49. Sell out of the gun. Comes up firing, has his man Tyler Palmer. And Palmer is absolutely popped. Picks up 5 yards, though, for the Grizzlies.
That's the one thing App State said they had to be. They said, if you're going to come and play Montana, these boys are physical. Bring your big boy pads. You better be ready to play. And if you catch the ball as a receiver across the middle, I've seen this App State team dislodge receivers from footballs, and you see it on the other side with Montana as well.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 5 for the Grizz. Ball sitting in just inside the 45-yard line. Chase Reynolds, the lone setback for the Grizz. Reynolds with the carry off the right-hand side, looking for a hole, finds it, and bangs his way close to first down yardage. Pickup of about 5 yards. You talk about physical brand of running, Charles. That's exactly what Chase Reynolds brings.
It's easy to run downhill. Watch him here. He gets behind that offensive line. You see those maroon jerseys locked up, the edge solved right there, and then he looks to see who he can go hit. The alley guys, or usually the safeties, come up, and you usually see the guy come out on the other side, but Chase Reynolds will run through you if you don't bring your hat.
And he originally hit Jock Roman, who made the tackle. They're going to be short by about 6 inches.
Jock Roman, the 6'1", 240 linebacker, basically the heart and soul of this defense.
That's less than 6, Charles. That's about 2. Not really a quick strike offense for Bobby Houck's team, but over the last 6 quarters, they have outscored opponents 91-0. I'll tell you, if you're looking for a good coach to move up to the next level, this may be your guy.
You just saw Mike London at Richmond take the job at Virginia. I saw that last year. We watched him play. He's a former guy. You watch his team play, and you can understand why coaches from the FCS are now getting looks at these big-time universities.
3rd down and 1. Andrew Sell will take it himself. Did he get enough of a surge? I think he did. He only needed about 2 inches.
When you talk to John Wiley, the defensive coordinator for App State, his concern was this big offensive line. He said, hey, they're big guys. We've got to find a way to use our speed, get off of them. They're playing without Langston Tanier, who's out.
Yep. Tony
Robertson and Demary Brewer are going to play a lot today in his place.
They thought Tanier might be able to go, but that left knee just not healed enough, so they've held him out of this game. 1st and 10, ball at the 38. Sell back to pass, has time, has a man across the middle, and just underthrew his receiver, Steve Failer, the senior from Frenchtown, Montana.
Good pressure by Jabari Fletcher, also 54.
Well, here's the road to the semis for the Montana Grizzlies. Remember, undefeated this season. They defeated South Dakota State, and that one of the greatest comebacks, they say, in Montana history. No question about it, down by some 40-some points. Stephen F. Austin absolutely dominated them by way of the turnovers. They forced 10 in that game. And here they are with Appalachian State. The winner moves on to the championship next week in Chattanooga. Reynolds with the carry off the left-hand side, has room, cuts back, it's Reynolds, wide open, no one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Montana.
You had 8 men in the box, and everybody covered up on the outside, 2 tight ends. Get a physical brand of football, and Chase Reynolds, you don't think he can make a move. You better watch out. He'll take advantage of you if you don't watch it. And
39 yards to the house, Charles.
Well, you got Mark Legree. Stop it right there. You're going to see him come in. He's got to make this play right here on Chase Reynolds. Chase Reynolds make that move and gets by him. That's why you score touchdowns right there, and that ability to get into open space.
So it's Brody McKnight on for the extra point for the Grizzlies. And he's perfect. So it's Montana 7, App State nothing. 7 plays, 63 yards, 249, and that's about as fast striking as the Grizz like to do it. Chase Reynolds puts the first points on the board, trying to get his team to Chattanooga.
College football lives here. NCAA Division I College Football Championship is presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by The Home Depot. Visit HomeDepot.com. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
It's a balmy 15 degrees in Missoula, Montana, but the Grizz are on top 7-0 here in the early going of the first quarter. Winner moves on to the FCS Championship next week on ESPN2, Friday night, 8 Eastern from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Villanova's already there. One of these 2 teams will join them. All right, Charles, we've seen both teams take the ball on offense. What have you seen?
Well, what I've seen so far is that Montana's starting faster than they normally do. They're usually outscored in the first quarter. For App State, they've got to come away with points. You cannot allow this high-powered offense and this defense to outflank you.
Brody McKnight kicks it off for the Grizz. B.J. Frazier takes it 5 deep. He'll take a knee, and that's where Armani Edwards and the Mountaineers will start at the 20.
Todd, so often the offensive linemen don't get a lot of love, but you're going to see right there, I think that's Teran Hillsland, who's going to come around and make a nice cut. And then when he does that, that allows just great opportunities to get down the field. Excuse me, that was Alex Burlington. Able to get that block. That's the center we talked about being a shorter guy.
And Montana is now at 98 unanswered points in the last 87-35 of playing. they absolutely dominated Stephen F. Austin, and they're continuing it today. Armani Edwards out of the gun. He'll keep the ball this time. Get to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Eric Stoll was the first one to meet him.
They want to make sure they rush him, but when he has a chance, they want to get to him. So you see guys spying him, coming down. Eric Stoll right there for him. I mean, they just want to keep him in their eyesight to know where he is at all times. If they don't see him, they make sure they get to him, wrap him up.
This is something we haven't seen in a long time. Appalachian State actually going into a huddle. So Bobby Houck has his team jacked up. Armani Edwards trying to answer. Edwards back to pass, has a man wide open. Brian Quick was just given too much of a cushion. Andrew Swink was the corner who pushed him out of bounds.
That's the concern if you're Montana. Brian Quick, they like to get him a one-on-one matchups. They go 3-by-1. 3 receivers usually on one side, even sometimes 4, and then Quick on the backside by himself to create matchup problems.
14-yard pickup for the Mountaineers. Ball at the 33. Edwards out of the gun, rolling to his right. Looks to pitch, has more out there, but Montana does a great job of stringing that play out. Brandon Fisher makes the stop for Montana. But don't miss any of the excitement tonight on ESPN. First at 8 Eastern, one player will receive college football's highest honor at the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. Then at 9 Eastern, catch the next installment of ESPN Films' critically acclaimed 30 for 30, The U, presented by Levi's. The Heisman Trophy presentation, and then ESPN Films' 30 for 30, The U, presented by Levi's. That's ESPN tonight. Edwards back to pass with a shovel. And that is going to be blown dead as an incomplete pass. Devin Moore was the intended receiver.
Moore never got his head around. Armani Edwards wants to go to him. He got his head around, but you can see Severin Campbell, once again, the guy that had a 32-yard interception return versus South Dakota State for a touchdown. Brother of Calais Campbell.
Jace Palmer also in on that. He's got a twin brother on the team. This brings up a big 3rd and 7. Ball from the 35. Edwards back to pass. Gets pressure. He's flushed out of the pocket. Stays alive and finds his man. Matt Klein had it and dropped it.
You saw this. Stephen F. Austin, one of the highest scoring offenses last week, had a lot of drops. Put the ball on the carpet. Montana, must be something about Montana's carpet here today, because Matt Klein usually doesn't drop footballs, and Armani Edwards stays alive and at the last second finds it perfectly. Hits him right in the numbers. He just can't come away with it. I think he let it get in too close to his body instead of using his hands.
So they'll bring on the freshman Sam Martin to punt it away. Young man from Fayetteville, Georgia. A beautiful sky-high punt. Mark Mariani has to fair catch it, and he'll do so at the 22-yard line. So the Grizz will get the ball back for the second time, already up 7-0 with a trip to the championship on the line. And on top 7-0, 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. I know this is Big Sky country, but I've never seen a Cup of Joe that big.
I'm from Texas. I thought everything was big in Texas. I've never seen one that big.
Temperature at 15 degrees as the Grizzlies take over from the 26-yard line. They'll go back to their primary runner, the man who had the first score on the day, and he's still on his feet. Chase Reynolds breaking tackles. Finally, it's Bobby Bozzo who makes the stop.
Alex Verlanik is just having an outstanding job of blocking. Right here, you see him cutting down Jock Roman, and when he does that, all those big offensive linemen are just locking up, and Chase Reynolds has to love getting behind these big old guys and finding a way.
4 carries for 60 yards already for Chase Reynolds here in the first quarter after that 11-yard pickup. And remember, the winner advances to the Division I championship game. They will play Villanova Friday, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. 1st and 10 from the 37. Sell under center. Back to Reynolds off the right-hand side. He strings it out. This time, Appalachian State does a great job, and he'll lose a yard.
Well, Todd, what they're doing, though, they're committed to the run early on. They want to soften them up. And what happened on that long touchdown, they were basically 8 men in the box and had one-on-one coverage on the outside. So it's forcing App State to really be physical and have to get after this big offensive line. That's the first positive play they had against the running game this game so far.
DJ Smith there on the tackle, so that will bring up a 2nd down and 11 for the Grizz. Sell once again under center with Reynolds in the backfield. Sell comes out passing, has his man, Tyler Palmer, but just overshoots him. Andrew Sell showing off the strength of his arm.
We talked about Andrew Sell, how cold has he ever played? He said, oh, about in the minuses.
He's a Montana kid from nearby Billings. Well, here's your comparison. Boone, North Carolina, if you don't know, is in the western part of the state. Elevation 3,333 feet. Actually higher than Missoula, Montana. Current temperature there is 35. Here it's 17. Factor in the wind chill, it's more like 14 or 13. Third down and 11. Sell back to pass, has time, has a man open. This time he makes the connection with Tyler Palmer, and that'll be enough for a first down. Ed Gainey on the coverage, a pickup of 12 for Montana.
One of the concerns for Montana was making sure that they could pick up the blitz. And you see the blitz coming, but no pressure. Andrew Sell able to sit back there and throw the ball. Tyler Palmer with nice hands reaching out there, not allowing the defender to take the ball away from him, Ed Gainey.
Palmer gets up gingerly. He actually comes off the field.
You've got to win those one-on-one matchups when you have man coverage against you and a blitz coming after you.
And they go to the reverse. This is Mariani. App State does a great job of stringing that play out for no gain.
They did an outstanding job of identifying and recognizing what was taking place.
Dominic McDuffie on the stop for the Mountaineers. So ball resting right at the 50-yard line, Charles.
Look at the defense, all those white jerseys, and then how they get back in position. Watch them hustle back, understanding where they need to be, and able to get and rally around the football. That's the one thing about App State. Great team speed.
Second down and 10, ball at the 50. Sell out of the gun. Comes up firing. He just put way too much heat on that. He was looking for Steve Failer.
It's been high on a lot of these passes so far today. You know, we asked him. He said -10 probably was about as cold as it was, and probably -30 degrees wind chill factor. But the wind has to come into play. We walked the field earlier. Certain parts of the field you didn't feel any wind.
Right.
And then when you get to certain parts, it's just gusting all over the place.
Bobby Houck's smart enough to get on the side of the field that the wind really doesn't affect as the wind comes out of Hellgate Canyon and swirls once it gets inside Washington and Grizzly Stadium. Third and 10. Sell out of the gun, looking, gets pressure up the middle, has a man, and again overshoots his receiver. Great coverage, though, as he was looking once again for Steve Failer.
Kane finally got pressure up the middle. Anthony Williams, big 98, is going to attack him. And it's just finally getting that pressure. Anthony Williams, also Malcolm Bennett, those two guys in the middle. Once you get pressure in the middle as a quarterback, it's hard to beat that. You see big 98 getting to him late, but still applying some pressure.
Sean Wren come on to punt it away for the Grizzlies, standing about his 35-yard line. Traveris Cadet back to receive for the Mountaineers. And he just blows this one up, goes all the way into the end zone, so the Mountaineers will take over after the 50-yard punt at the 20-yard line. Sean Wren, the sophomore from Yorba Linda, California, said, not used to this cold. NCAA Division I football national championship game in Canyon. The Grizzlies on top 7-0 as we start quarter number 2.
You see signaling in the play or any changes that they want to make. Have to give it to all the offensive linemen as well.
And they will blow this one dead. Movement again on the front line. Our referee on the day, Paul Zukas. This is a Patriot League crew.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense. At the 71, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
The last drive, remember that happened, and they didn't come away with any points.
Well, let's take a look at our Coke Zero game track. Really a dominant game so far offensively by Montana. App State, though, as you pointed out, Charles, on their first possession, they drove down to about the 35, and the false start penalty pushed them out of field goal range. They went for it on 4th down, did not convert. Here's Armani Edwards getting all kinds of pressure, but has his receiver open, and he makes the catch. Brian Quick goes up and makes a beautiful grab, but Armani Edwards paid the price. Keith Thompson on coverage, but not before a 34-yard pickup.
Shan Schillinger is going to come in and blast Armani Edwards on that blitz. We talked about it earlier, but Brian Quick has quickly become a key guy. You're going to see him here just working down the middle of the field. Know the ball's coming to him, just out jumps. And it was a bad play in the middle of the field by the defensive back, not really coming over the top. Mike McCord had a chance to dislodge the ball from him.
Well, the player that's down is Keith Thompson.
He was on coverage with Brian Quick. He was the corner, and then the safety over the top. Mike McCord had a shot at maybe getting the football.
Thompson up and walking, a senior from Porterville, California. He's a JUCO transfer from Bakersfield College, and I guarantee at Bakersfield they didn't play in weather like this. 15 degrees, and now App State in the red zone. 56 of 66, 85% conversion rate with 44 touchdowns. Armani Edwards knows exactly what to do when they get down here. 1st and goal. Edwards giving the ball to Moore. Moore up the middle. Touchdown, Appalachian State. The 3-yard run by the junior from Mebane, North Carolina, Devin Moore.
Todd, you talk about Armani Edwards being the key for this offense, but Devin Moore is just one of those physical guys. Has come back from major injuries. That's his 18th touchdown on the season. He is a key for this offense for App State.
Jason Viterras on for the extra point. And we are all even in Missoula. Appalachian State 7, Montana 7. We've got ourselves a good one here in Missoula. Come on back, temperature a balmy 15. Welcome back to Missoula. The road to Chattanooga goes through this town. The #1 ranked Montana Grizzlies 7, Appalachian State 7. And if you want to play for Bobby Houck's Grizzlies, you better have discipline, something Charles Arbuckle found out firsthand.
Okay, so you want to be a Montana Grizzly football player? You can't be late to class. You can't miss weight conditioning. If you do, you know what's going to happen? 620 feet above the ground, you got to go to the M. I was 2 minutes late to a production meeting. Now you're going to see my self-imposed discipline. An outstanding view, but my legs are burning and my lungs are hurting. I think the buck stops right here.
And actually, folks, I got to tell you, Charles did want to go to the very top.
I did. I was ready to go. Once I got up there, I was ready to take it all the way up.
Switchbacks all the way up there. On a day like today, you'd be a tough Grizzly. You make it up there and back.
You gotta have, that's both of these ball clubs. That's why they're tough. Any of these mountain teams, always just gonna be physical. You know what to expect. You better just come prepared if you're gonna play any team like Montana or App State.
So Sam Martin, the freshman from Fayetteville, Georgia, set to kick it off for the Mountaineers. Low line driver. Javen Sembrano with the ball, got to about the 25, and that's where he is swallowed up by App State, a 18-yard return. Oh, Bobby Houck in his 7th year, all about goals here. These are their season goals. Get a degree for seniors, obviously, beat their rival Montana State, which they did, win the conference championship, which they did, and they usually do every year, and then win the national championship.
He said it couldn't happen against a better team, you know, to have them come to their place, who they beat before, even though it was 10 years ago and he wasn't here. He just said this is the perfect opportunity for his program.
Talk about dominating the conference, 12 straight conference titles in the Big Sky for Montana. 1st and 10, ball at the 25. Sell back to pass, has his man wide open, his go-to guy, Mark Mariani. The senior from Harv, Montana, former walk-on, a 3-time state MVP in tennis.
Well, John Wiley, the defensive coordinator, said, I don't know how he keeps getting open, but here's why. He runs great routes, and he just finds those areas in the zone to hurt you. Every single week you turn on the film and you think, Mariani is not going to get open again. And sure enough, he does. And these routes that he runs, he's so crisp, but he also has much more speed than people give him credit.
First and 10 from the 47 for the Grizz. I formation. They'll keep it on the ground. This time they go to the primary runner. That's Chase Reynolds, the junior from Drummond, Montana. Anthony Williams with the stop. When you talk about Mark Mariani, this is a former walk-on, Charles. He's a great tennis player, also a great football player in high school, but these numbers absolutely do not lie, especially in conference.
No, I mean, he does it consistently, not only in conference, but even when they get to the playoffs, he elevates his game. And that's what, you know, John Wiley, the defensive coordinator, was saying. We have to stop 80. He said that we have to take him away from their offense.
That is the mayor coming off the field, Jabari Fletcher. Team calls him the mayor. They say the entire town of Boone knows who he is, so he's shaken up. He will come off. But remember, they are already out of Lanston Tanier, who was unable to play because of a knee injury, and now Jabari Fletcher to the sideline. So both starting ends out of the game at this point. Second down and 10, ball at the 47. Sell back to pass. Almost had his man who'd cut in. He was looking for Jabin Sombrano.
And that's what happens when you bring pressure. He wasn't able to set back there and throw. Dominique McDuffie coming off the edge out of Chattanooga. You're going to see him show up on your screen. Actually, also Jock Roman coming around that outside, applying that pressure. Jock doesn't quite get there, but just enough to make that arm get off kilter and not get it to the receiver.
Sell 4 of 9 for 47 yards. Big third down now. 3rd and 10. Great field position at the 47. Grizz trying to keep this drive alive. Sell back to pass. Has his man. Depends on the spot, but Mark Mariani, once again, the senior, makes the reception, and this is going to be awfully close. I think they're going to give it to him. Dominique McDuffie on the stop.
Mariani runs the route right at the yard line where he needs to be, and McDuffie hits him as soon as he catches the football. They don't come with any pressure this time. They don't get to him with 4, but Mariani is right there, and McDuffie hits him as soon as he gets the ball in his chest.
Third reception for Mariani, and on cue that first down comes, and the snow is starting to fall. So 1st and 10, ball at the 43-yard line for the Grizz. Sell back to pass, looking. Has a man open in the flats. He was looking for his big fullback, Kevin Claybowl, the senior out of Billings, Montana. He's also their #1 long snapper, but little high for him once again, Charles.
Well, Claybowl is on the outside, and you see Sell go the other way and knows that he has this receiver on the backside, his fullback. Can't quite get it to him. Little high.
Well, he was wide open,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, he was. And App State has started to change their defense up, and Montana is throwing the ball more. Remember, they came out running the football in their last few drives.
Jabari Fletcher back into the game for Appalachian State. Good sign for them. This will bring up a 2nd down and 10. Sell out of the gun. This is Reynolds up the middle. Chase Reynolds, the junior from Drummond, Montana. Here's a young man who's doing it all here at Montana, but he played 8-man football in high school. His wife, Keela, and he have a 3-year-old son, Talon, who's certainly watching his pops get it done. I don't know if they brought Talon to the game because it's awfully chilly for the youngster.
Todd, when we went on the field, I saw a lot of kids. Looked like they were 5 and under, maybe even about a year old, already ready to come and understand what it's like to be a Grizzly.
A lot of brothers on this team, a lot of sons and fathers who have come through this program. They get it done here in Missoula. 3rd down and 7, looking to convert. Sell getting pressure, has to get rid of it, and he had to get rid of it early. He was looking for Sam Gratton, the freshman from Billings, Montana, but he had to get rid of it too soon. Jabari Fletcher in to put the pressure on the quarterback, Andrew Sell. So that will bring up a 4th down punting situation for Montana.
Jock Roman was also there. They've started coming with that interior pressure, not letting Sell get comfortable and step up into the pocket.
Sean Wren does the punting for Montana, a sophomore from Yorba Linda, California. Orange County kid who's probably really enjoying this weather. And how about this formation? Showing how they get it done in Yorba Linda. Sean Wren's got it knocked loose. Doesn't matter, he did not get to the 1st down marker, so Appalachian State will take over, but there is a flag on the field and an injured player down. Dan Bowden, the senior from Montana, Knoxon, Montana, is the injured player.
The backup tight end. But you're going to see they try to come with the fake and go to the outside. And it's going to, I think that's going to be holding on that play, and that's where the penalty flag comes in. Looks like they're going to get too strong right now, but I could change my mind.
You could change your mind. Flag comes out, false start.
False start. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Matt Ruff, the third one on App State today.
Well, there are your BCS standings as of right now. Alabama and Texas set to meet in the national championship. I'll tell you the game I'm really excited to see, number 7 and number 8, the granddaddy of them all, the Ducks and the Buckeyes getting together in Pasadena.
I think that's going to be a good ball
I
game.
do too. First down and 15, ball at the 30. Armani Edwards out of the gun. He's going to do it on his own. Edwards takes it out. He will pick up about, I'll call it 7 yards. Caleb McSurdy comes up and makes the stop for the Grizz.
Have another Montana player down. On that last drive, Armani Edwards was 4-4 with 68 yards.
Jace Palmer is the injured player. He's got a twin brother, Tyler, who plays wide receiver. Jace is actually 3 minutes older.
Does he hold that against him? Does he
I don't
say,
know.
Hey, I'm the big brother?
I don't know, but
By 3 minutes.
We both probably played enough cold weather games that sometimes these injuries aren't as serious, but when you get hit on an exposed bone or flesh and it's been cold, it hurts just that much more.
Yeah, it does.
A Division I college football championship brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Beautiful waters here in Missoula, Montana. Chilly, but beautiful. All tied up at 7 with a right to go to the national championship game next week. Jace Palmer came out on his own power. Armani Edwards comes out looking, firing, has his man, ball knocked loose. And they're going to say that was incomplete. Blake Elder had the ball. Eric Stoll came up and just drilled it.
These fans here are a little upset. Armani Edwards with the fake. He's going to fake the ball, and this might have been a catch. Let's see here. Throws the football. Blake Elder takes a couple of steps. They're going to take right here. Catches the football.
Looked like he bobbled it at first and then tried to tuck it away, but did he take a step?
Never quite had it, but we do have replay.
Normally FCS they do not, but here in this semifinal game we do. They get the playoffs, so it becomes a moot point. Armani Edwards throws it back, has his man, number 8, Brian Quick, and the Grizz are fired up. Alex Shaw on the stop.
It appears that Brian Quick is on the backside open, but you can clearly see they have an eye on him. Every time he catches the ball, they're going to really rally to him and not allow him to make any big plays.
Sam Martin back to punt. He's had 1 punt today for 37 yards. The wind absolutely howling here through Washington Grizzlies Stadium. Mark Mariani back to receive. Short kick high. He's just yelling everyone, poison, poison, stay away from it. It's going to take an Appalachian State bounce and roll all the way down to about almost the 15-yard line. So a 45-yard punt, and that's where the Grizzlies will take over. Hey, don't miss any of the excitement tonight on ESPN. First at 8 Eastern, one player will receive college football's highest honor at the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. Then at 9 Eastern, catch the next installment of ESPNU's critically acclaimed 30 for 30, The U, presented by Levi's. Both those tonight. First, the Heisman Trophy presentation, and then The U on ESPN. Who do you like in this one, Charles?
Well, I'm glad they invited Ndamukong Suh.
No question.
But I think Colt McCoy, either he or Mark Ingram will win it.
I really thought Toby Gerhart would get it, and Ndamukong Suh, a great player from Portland, Oregon, out of Grant High School, now in Denver, Nebraska. As the Grizz take over, they go to their backup running back. They call this young man TBF. We like to call him Thomas Brooks Flesher.
A 5-yard gain.
5-yard pickup for him.
He's had to bide his time behind Chase Reynolds and now getting an opportunity. And he does play quite a bit. A nice north-south runner, very physical in the pass game as well.
2nd down and 5. Sell changing the play at the line. Sell got a man way out there. It's Mariani, and he can't come up with it. Great coverage on the outside by Cortez Gilbert. Fans want to call.
Well, Mariani, they could have it against him. Watch him use his hands here to kind of push off just a little bit. Keeps his hand rested there. And that's part of what you do as a receiver. You try to wait to the last minute, but great coverage by Cortez Gilbert. Gilbert out of Goldsboro, North Carolina.
The coaches think he may be playing at the next level. The senior from North Carolina, 5'11", 180. So that brings up a big 3rd down and 5 for Montana. Ball resting at about the 20-21-yard line. Sell gets pressure, has his man in and out of the hands of Steve Thaler. And out comes a late flag as the back judge saw something and the flag flew.
Turns and they call him for a rub, which is pass interference.
So Sean Wren onto the punting for the Grizzlies. Plenty of time. And a wobbler, and it just sticks right at the 47, called the 48-yard line. And that's where App State will take over after a 31-yard punt. Well, the defense for the Grizzlies was sensational last week, Charles.
Well, Eric Stoll, I mean, so many guys. Austin Mullins with the interception, and then when Stephen F. Austin was driving down the field, couldn't score. They just know how to force you to turn the ball over. They almost had one on the last drive against App State, but you can see there, they just get after the football. They attack the football when they're on defense.
Shan Schillinger, the big free safety, heavy hitter. Sean Lebsock, the hardest hitter on the Grizzlies team. And now the fans get involved. Sold out house here at Washington Grizzlies Stadium. The right to go to the FCS National Championship next week in Chattanooga. 1st and 10 for Armani Edwards and the Mountaineers. Moore off the right-hand side. And is just tripped up, and a flag comes out. Sean Lebsock, who we talked about moments ago, is the hardest hitter, but again, penalty on the play.
Lebsock's nickname is Beef, and that's going to be holding against App State. The offensive linemen say they hate blocking him because they're 6'8", and he's 6 foot.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Replay 1st down.
They get the tight end, Ben Jordan.
He's trying to make sure he holds the block to let Devin Moore get outside. You see him at the very end holding on to the jersey. And as a tight end, you're on the outside, so the line judge can see you clearly every time you have some cloth. Sophomore out of Weddington, North Carolina, went to Charlotte Latin High School.
That's where your son goes.
Good player.
State champs this year, correct? So the clock is running once again. So we go 9-10, 1st and 10. Armani Edwards back to pass, gets drilled as he lets go, but he finds the receiver, and once again it's Brian Quick who comes back for the pass. Armani Edwards, 14-yard pickup. Alex Shaw with the stop.
Jace Palmer was off the ball so fast, 42, that Armani Edwards is fortunate that he got this ball off. You see 42 right there. Ori Fry could not get to him. He's the blindside tackle with Armani Edwards being a lefty. Young man right on the outside there with such quick speed, able to get around the offensive lineman. 2nd
down and 6. Out to Moore. Moore trying to get around the corner. He goes out of bounds at about the 45, called the 44-yard line, a pickup of 4 for the Mountaineers.
4-yard gain.
We talk about App State coming from behind, but Montana also had to do it a few weeks ago against South Dakota State. They came storming back, and ever since then, they have not let teams really even stay close to them. Stephen F. Austin just had a tough time here last week.
3rd and 2. App State 1 of 4 on the day. Moore gets the call up the middle. He's got a first down, moved the chains. Eric Stoll, the strong safety, came up and made the stop, but not before a 4-yard pickup for the junior from Mebane, North Carolina.
Running that behind the big center, Brett Irvin, who got his first start. See all those white jerseys pushing those maroon jerseys back. Whenever you have that kind of opportunity as a running back, you pick the hole and you find it and go.
First and 10, ball at the 40. Edwards back to pass. Looks once, thinks about running. Now has a man wide open, and he is drilled. Matt Klein is absolutely drilled by Keith Thompson. We got to make sure he's okay.
Keith Thompson is only 5'9", 175, but they say he is pound for pound one of the most physical players on this defense. Armani Edwards is able to keep this play alive. You see the defense get sucked in, and then all of a sudden.
We'll get a closer shot of this. Look and listen. Wow.
It was a good, clean hit. Didn't come with his helmet down.
Well, the medical staffs of both teams are looking at him. So as they take a look at Matt Klein, we'll step aside. All tied up at 7. Great sight right there. We'll be back to Missoula after this. That is the picture of toughness. Matt Klein, the junior from Thomasville, North Carolina, jogged off under his own power. The fans here at Washington Grizzly Stadium giving him an ovation because he absolutely took a pop. That is a vicious, vicious hit.
Keith Thompson, half-brother James Sanders, plays for New England Patriots. And Matt Klein did get up. These fans gave him a big round of applause. He's a tough guy. It had to be tough to make this team as a former walk-on, and Jerry Moore said it best. He's a tough, hard-nosed player.
He's a 4-sport all-conference performer in high school. And again, we got movement on the front line. Looks like your guy, Ori Fry, Charles, moving backwards.
Gap integrity, get in there and find a way to get to the quarterback or the running back.
3rd and 10. Edwards pumps once, now he'll roll to his left, has a gun of an arm, and he finds his receiver. Once again, Blake Elder comes back and bails Armani Edwards out. A 19-yard pickup, and the drive stays alive.
The biggest concern with playing Armani Edwards for Montana is they don't see anybody quite like him. You can say, well, we can get a guy to practice like you, we can do this, but look at the throw and the ability to move. Coach Houck said it yesterday. He said, we got to keep him contained. And Craig Paulson said the same thing. 14, 14, 14. We got to stop him when we have a chance.
Threw out some names to Coach Houck. Dennis Dixon, Marcus Tuiasosopo. The reverse is coming. B.J. Frazier took the reverse, only picks up 4 yards.
I think it's going to be a penalty down the field on Tim Fry or one of the defensive backs. Way after the play was over.
And it came way deep in the backfield. You know what's interesting, Charles, about this call is Shan Schillinger, the safety, after the last possession, went off, told the officials they're cutting me at my knees.
After the play, personal foul. Number 86, offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
So that personal foul is going to back up the Mountaineers as the snow is really starting to come down.
They dodged a couple of bullets. B.J. Frazier fumbled the football, even though the official was saying he was down. And down the field, Tim Fry and Shan Schillinger got into it a little bit, and this brings them back out of field goal range.
Well, the ball now at the 32-yard line. More importantly, the wind now in their face. And we're hearing that the winter storm warning has been issued. That's not the action on the field. That is a winter storm warning for the Missoula area. Temperature running about 15 degrees. The wind's about 20, and the snow is falling. 2nd and 21. Edwards dumps it off to Moore, and he's immediately tackled by the Grizzlies picks up 3 yards, trimming Johnson on the stop. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half, all tied up at 7. Remember, the winner meets Villanova in the FCS National Championship next Friday on ESPN2, 8 Eastern from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Bobby Houck hoping to pick up that award and that trophy and bring it back to Missoula. And Jerry Moore, he's already got 3. His wife says he'd love another one. 3rd and 18. Edwards, man, wide open, ball dropped. Incomplete. Brian Quick had the ball. Not enough for a first down, Charles, but it would have put them in field goal range.
Brian Quick is growing in his confidence, and he's a roommate with Armani Edwards. He said Armani Edwards will get on him sometimes, and here's the reason why. You got to catch that football. Looked away, didn't put it in, and just like you said, wouldn't have got the first down, but would have been better in position for this field goal with these swirling winds and the snow coming down.
All right, so this will be a 46-yard attempt for Jason Viteris from Seneca, South Carolina. And Viteris splits the uprights despite the wind and the snow. And Appalachian State 10, Montana 7 with 5:16 to play here in the first half. But if you're Bobby Houck, you take the 3 because they were right on knocking on the door.
They really were. You talk about both of these offenses. Montana averages 37.8 points per game, whereas App State 34.5. You got to figure with all the snow coming, these scores are not going to be as high. It was supposed to be clear today. It was supposed to be sunny. And there's a mountain in the back. You can't see it now because the snow has taken over.
Hellgate Canyon living up to its name as we take a look at Mount Sentinel. Charles, you were climbing that mountain yesterday.
Well, you know what he also told us? He said for discipline purposes, they give them a flashlight at 6 a.m. when it's still dark and tell them go up there. He said only one guy in the program had ever gone multiple times. He went 4 times in the dark at night. So early in the morning, he didn't want to go to class.
Man, that was crazy. Well, App State overcame 30 yards of penalties on that drive to come away with 3 points. They now lead 10-7 over the #1 ranked and undefeated Montana Grizzlies. 5:16 to play here.
Let's see if Montana gets back to running the football. They had 73 yards rushing, and they all came, it seemed like, in the first quarter. With this weather, let's see if it happens.
Sam Martin set to kick it off. The winter storm warning blows the ball right off the tees. And I'm talking about those winds. You look at the flagpoles, those things are absolutely whipping.
And I don't see any fans leaving.
No. There you see Mount Sentinel. There you see on the right-hand side. That's the first switchback that heads up there. There's a series of about 10 of those. Mile something up the hill. Elevation, wind, cold. You're going to skip class for that?
You better not.
Wind now gusting to 25 miles an hour. They've got it teed up, and right before he gets there, they got to bring in a holder. Sam Martin, a freshman, sounds more appropriate. With little help, Sam Martin kicks it away. Jabin Sombrano bringing it back. 10, 15, 20, up to the 30, cuts across to the 40, all the way out to the 42-yard line. And again, extracurricular activity on the near side. Demery Brewer makes the stop for App State. 41-yard return, and the fans are energized once again.
Good positive return for this Montana offense. Let's see if they capitalize on that. And this App State defense has really made some adjustments now, not allowing them to get comfortable. Andrew Sell in the pocket. Let's see if they're able to maintain that in this drive.
From the 43, 1st and 10, Montana with the ball going into the wind. Sell having a hard time handling it. He'll just have to eat this one as the defense led by Anthony Williams just swallowed him up. They'll lose 4 on that.
Never got the football cleanly. Sell never got it cleanly. Pulled out. Couldn't run the play after that. Fortunately for him, it bounced right back to him.
2nd and 14. Blitz coming. Sell gets it away. And the receiver was held up. Chase Reynolds was pretty much just taken out of that play. Dominique McDuffie putting the pressure on the quarterback.
That's why you hear the fans booing. They wanted a pass interference call. But Dominique McDuffie timed this perfectly to get after the quarterback. And they recognized that App State did and covered that play up. So even if Chase Reynolds catches the football, I don't think he would have had many yards on that play.
They certainly don't want to waste that great return. This is the 3rd and 14 for the Grizz. Sell back to pass, and this ball is just going to sail on him. He was looking for Steve Thaler, who was open.
He didn't look comfortable back there, taking some shots. And that's the one thing that App State wanted to do. They said if we can get to him, he's not going to throw the ball as efficiently and accurately as he does. Wasted a nice return. App State, good defensive adjustments and really covering up now, playing much better.
Charles, he's missed 7 of his last 8 attempts. So I don't know if it's the weather bothering him here. He's just hyped up, trying to get his team to Chattanooga. Sean Wren comes on to punt. Wren taking his time, going a little rugby. That ball's going to bounce. Came awfully close to hitting an App State player. It'll be marked dead at about the 31-yard line, a 30-yard punt, and that's where Armani Edwards and the Mountaineers will take over.
1st and 10, Appalachian State from the 32-yard line.
So 4:14 to play here in the first half as the weather has set into beautiful Missoula. App State on top, 10-7, and Armani Edwards, the career he's had in Boone has been sensational. This was the scene last year when he was receiving the Walter Payton Award as the best player in all of FCS football.
Well, and he's up for the award again this year. And when you hear the coaches on opposing teams, players, NFL scouts, he shows you he can throw the football now.
Coaches believe that he can play at the next level.
They really think so.
4:14 to play in the first half. 1st and 10, ball at the 32. Edwards will keep it. Patiently finds his way. He fumbles, but the ball goes out of bounds. Keith Thomas came up and shot him. Put a nice lick on him and knocked the ball out, but it goes out of bounds. It stays with the Mountaineers.
5-yard gain on the play.
Ball security has to be even stronger in this weather.
These are your Payton Award finalists. Armani Edwards, of course, quarterback from Appalachian State. Terrell Hudgens, the wide receiver from Elon, and Deji Kareem, the running back from Southern Illinois. They were upset early. December 17th, the name comes out, and it's Devin Moore, who is sacked, dropped for 3 yards. Alex Shaw came up and made the stop.
That play never had a chance. No. Alex Shaw was in the backfield. He could have taken the handoff.
And on 3rd and 9, the fans are on their feet. We don't need no stinking winter storm warning. Again, Brian Quick unable to come up with it. Even if he had made the catch, Charles, he was well short of the first down. So App State will have to punt it away with 3:10 to play here in the first half.
Montana wants to get you in 3rd and long. They're going to come with pressure and force you to throw it quicker. And Armani Edwards is getting on Brian Quick because that's the 2nd time he's come away and not caught the football. He's getting better. They say he's still trying to learn the game. Didn't start playing until his senior year in high school.
Sam Martin on to punt for Appalachian State. Got the wind somewhat at his back. Beautiful punt. This is Mark Mariani yelling, poison, poison, stay away from it. Ball is marked dead at about the 34-yard line. It's a 34-yard punt. We send it back to the studio, and Whitney Nix for an update on what we'll see at the half.
Thank you very much. Coming up the half, it's all Heisman all the time as we continue our countdown to tonight's Heisman Trophy presentation. An update from Army-Navy as Army tries to play their way into a bowl game. And Tiger Woods, the fallout continues as some of his sponsors take action. We'll see you back here at the half.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Back here in Missoula, Montana, it's 10-7. Appalachian State on top, 2:59 to play in the first half. On the line, the right to go to Chattanooga and play for the FCS National Championship. On the draw, back to the running game. And Charles, this is exactly what you said they needed. Chase Reynolds, get him on track. 8-yard pickup for the Grizz. Bobby Bozzo makes the stop, but a player is down on the turf. Get some points in the last 2:42 of the first half. On the delay handoff, it's Reynolds once again up the middle. Picks up 1 yard short of the first down. Jacques Roman makes the stop for the Mountaineers.
The one thing with Mark Mariani, the reason why he's been effective is a lot of teams play him off. They don't come up and try to jam him, and that's the difference today. They're taking Cortez Gilbert, the cornerback, or Ed Gainey, and really just coming up and then using Jacques Roman. Jacques Roman has done a good job of rushing and also playing against the run, blitzing.
Confusion on the Montana sideline. Coach Houck has to burn a timeout.
Punter outweighed by a considerable amount. And a much taller, more physically imposing offensive line for Montana.
Coach Houck's not going to take any chances here with a minute 36, 35 to play. He's going to bring on Sean Wren to punt this ball away. Line driving punt. Tavares Cadet makes the catch. Ball down at the 22, 36-yard punt. Well, a big day today for the Mountaineers. After this game, win or lose, they take a charter flight, get home to Boone around 3 in the morning, and a very big day for 4 players because tomorrow is December graduation. One of those players, Armani Edwards, will walk tomorrow.
Finishing 3.5 years, but congratulations to all those young men getting an opportunity to graduate. And they had to take finals yesterday. They got in Thursday night late, and there was a proctor from the school administered exams yesterday.
And Armani Edwards on the dean list as well. 1st and 10 from the 21. Edwards comes out firing, has quick. This time he makes the reception just shy of a first down. He'll pick up 9, but he does go out of bounds and stops the clock at a minute 14.
You know, it's Montana 2 drives in a row where they really don't come away with good field position and capitalize on it. Now it's giving Appalachian State a chance to score before the half.
App State has all 3 timeouts remaining. They've got the wind at their back. Armani Edwards out of the gun. 5 receivers set quickly across the middle and another drop. This time Matt Klein, although the ball was kind of thrown a little low for him, unable to catch it on the run.
Watch film of a lot of film of both of these teams, and I have not seen either team drop as many passes during the season as I have today.
And there's the injured player going off moments ago. Justin Lloyd had to be taken off. They'll take him right into the locker room. Get him out of the snow. Winter storm warning issued for the Missoula area. 3rd and 1. Edwards, he'll keep it this time. Spins out of the grasp, and he's got enough for a first down. That is what Armani Edwards can do for you.
Talking to his coaches, they say he sees the entire field. And, you know, he's an artist by trade, does sketching. Pencil sketching is what he likes to do. Well, I tell you what, this is some great artistry here. Being able to do the spin move, get down right before Eric Stahl is there to take his head off.
1st and 10. Edwards rolling to his left, cuts up. He's got all kinds of room to run. Smartly gets down as he's dropped at about the 38-yard line. A pickup of 3 for the quarterback from the Mountaineers. 10-7. What's on the line? A trip to the national championship to play Villanova. Charles, App State has 3 timeouts, electing not to use them. Edwards underneath has more. Ball knocked free. Incomplete pass. And welcome back to the NCAA Division I semifinal presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. The mouth of Hellgate Canyon. We are 10-7. Appalachian State on top of the #1 ranked and undefeated Montana Grizzlies. Alongside former UCLA tight end Charles Arbuckle, I am Todd Harris. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything. Offense looked good for Montana to start the game, and then they really bogged down. Appalachian State came alive, and then the winter storm warning came on. And, Charles, we got a whole different game here for the second half.
We really do, Todd. I was surprised that Montana didn't stay with the run. They were running the ball effectively, got away from it a little bit, trying to throw the football more. App State made some adjustments, and you can see clearly with the weather's coming into play and also all these other things, the intangibles of keeping the ball and scoring.
As we take a look at our first half highlights, again, it was first Montana that struck early. Chase Reynolds on this beautiful cutback play, and the Grizz were on the board.
He was able to find and hold, and that offensive line did a good job of coming off. App State responds with Devin Moore with a strong physical run inside.
All right, so that's where we stand, 10-7. As we said, winter storm warning has hit the Missoula area. Heavy snow, heavy winds. Temperature was at 15 when we started the game. They say with the wind chill now, it's probably closer to 0. So as we take a look at our coaching adjustments for the second half, let's first start with head coach Bobby Hauck of Montana. What does he need to do to get his team to Chattanooga next week?
Well, he's got to do a better job of picking up the blitz from App State. They were able to adjust and really start coming from the outside. You see Jock Roman there and Dominique coming inside. Dominique McDuffie applying pressure. Andrew Sell couldn't get comfortable, and that's the reason why this offense from Montana kind of stalled. They started out, scored right away, and then couldn't do anything after that.
And those are our coaching adjustments brought to you by the Home Depot. Well, the stats do not lie. Montana Grizzlies, first drive, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Last 5 drives, 79 total yards, no score. And Bobby Hauck says we've got to play as a team. If we try to play individually, it won't get done. But he has got some great players. They play very physical football. I would say, Charles, normally the weather is favoring Montana, but Boone comes from the mountains. They come from the hills. They're used to the cold.
Yeah, App State is able to play in this weather as well. You really look at it from this standpoint. There's been a lot of drops, 6 on both teams. Both of these teams are accustomed to catching the football, playing in this weather, but for whatever reason, they haven't capitalized on opportunities to get third downs and convert them into first downs.
There you see the weather conditions we talked about. We're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches of snow by tomorrow afternoon. All we're concerned about right now is the next 2 hours. One of these teams is going to punch their ticket to Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's where Villanova awaits, the number 2 seed, waiting to see who they will play in the FCS Championship Friday on ESPN, 8 o'clock. We saw earlier the tee issue. The wind was blowing the ball right off the tee, but Sam Martin's got it in a good place. Montana, of course, won the toss. They deferred, and they will get a crack at it here in the second half. Jabin Sembrano at the 10. Sembrano has a seam, cuts it back inside, and he's still on his feet up to about the 45-yard line, a 35-yard return, and the Grizz are in business. As we said, that's what it is. This is the second semifinal. Last night, Villanova came from behind to beat William & Mary. And now it's Montana's turn to try to mount some kind of a comeback. They have not lost, Charles, all year long. Appalachian State's 2 losses came the first 2 games, and that's without Armani Edmonds.
In the majority of their games, they've been behind and came storming back.
Out to the outside is Chase Reynolds. He's got a nice seam up the side, and he is tackled at about the 31-yard line. Michael Frazier, the bandit, has to come over and stop him, but a 24-yard pickup for the Grizzlies.
Nice adjustment also, because just earlier in the game, they tried to do this with Kevin Claybo, who was wide open. Instead, they go to Chase Reynolds, get him outside, let him catch the ball, turn and run with it.
1st and 10 from the 31. Sell on the delay to Reynolds. Reynolds will pick up about 3 more yards. He's tackled by Jacques Roman.
It's that Fox draw that the 49ers made famous, where they'll cross the running backs up. Claybo comes in to be the lead blocker, and then Chase Reynolds has to find a hole. But Jacques Roman, we called his name a lot today for this defense for App State.
2nd down and 6. Back to Reynolds. Reynolds off the left-hand side. He's got himself a seam. Reynolds up to the 13-yard line, and that is the Chase Reynolds we saw in the first half. Ed Gainey makes the stop, a 13-yard pickup, but there is a flag on the play.
Just good, powerful, physical football, locking people up. You have one man to beat. He's able to get outside of Dominique McDuffie, who can't quite get to him. He's the contain guy.
After the play, personal foul, blow to the head on the defense, number 5. After distance to the goal, first down.
Cortez Gilbert called for the infraction.
And those receivers have been locked up with the defensive backs all game, and some frustration there.
First and goal from the 7.
This looks like the first drive of the game, Todd.
And this is the first red zone trip for the Grizz in this game. First and goal. Sell back to pass. Has a man locked up. That ball knocked away. A nice piece of defense by Cortez Gilbert.
Got to give Cortez Gilbert a lot of credit. He's locked up on Mariani, who does a good job usually. And see, Cortez Gilbert didn't go for all the head fake. He stayed outside, let him make his move, let him come to him. You see so often Mariani beating people because they guess and they're in the wrong position. That time he guessed right and was in the perfect position.
Second down and goal. Sell out of the gun. Gives it to Reynolds. Reynolds looking for a seam. Off a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown Grizzlies. And Chase Reynolds ran right over Gainey.
Good physical football. You can get him out front. Watch right here. Who's going to win that battle? Ed Gainey tries to, but Chase Reynolds runs right through that tackle.
Second touchdown on the day for Chase Reynolds, the junior from Drummond, Montana. Brody McKnight in for the extra point. And just like that, the Grizzlies back in front 14-10. 5 plays, 55 yards in a minute 38. Montana 14, Appalachian State 10. Come on back to Missoula after this short break. Devin Radford from the 2. Radford has a seam. He's tripped up at about the 25-yard line, a 22-yard return, and that's where Brock Coyle makes the stop. Armani Edwards comes on, the reigning Peyton Award winner from FCS. And Charles, he's got his work cut out for him. During the break, we talked about this. Running will be a premium now. Does he put the game on his shoulders and just take it over?
Well, no, I think you have to use Devin Moore. I think Devin Moore wants to be more involved. He averages about 5.5 yards a carry. They got to keep that going. You can't just sit back and throw every single time.
Trailing by 4 from the 25. Moore with the carry. At the line, he bowls forward. Initial contact 3 yards, but he'll end up picking up about 7. Eric Stoll came in to help make the stop.
Here's a tough kid who's dealt with injuries both in college and in the high school ranks, but he just keeps coming back. Had to sit behind Kevin Richardson. Devin Moore is a tough physical runner inside.
Second and 3. Again, the Mountaineers do not huddle.
Devin Moore also has to go up, and Armani Edwards is giving it to the left side. He gives it to the right side of the lane.
Edwards will keep it this time. Dances his way to the line of scrimmage. He'll be brought down close to a first down, a pickup of 3 yards for him. Sean Lebsock makes the stop for the Grizzlies.
Todd, we haven't talked about it much, but the Grizzlies are at plus 17. A lot of that came last week at plus 10. They've had 35 takeaways this year. Just they get after the football.
First and 10 for the Mountaineers. This time he hands it off to Matt Klein, a wide receiver who settles in the backfield. The Grizzlies, great defense there. 2-yard pickup. Severin Campbell makes the stop for Montana.
82, second down and 8.
Matt Klein, an interesting story. He was diagnosed with a heart condition his senior year in high school. Missed a few games, and then they found out it was just dehydration and fatigue.
A four-sport all-conference performer in high school at Glenn High School out of Thomasville, North Carolina. Big 2nd and 8 for Appalachian State. Edwards goes up top, has his man, it's Quick. And Brian Quick holds on to this one down to the 35-yard line, a 28-yard pickup. Shan Schillinger comes over and makes the stop.
All set up by the run, Todd. In the middle of the field is now going to be open. You see Brian Quick running to the seam, getting to that hash mark. If you stay there in that cover 2 look, the ball is going to be there for you. You can see why they're roommates. They connect enough. They talk a lot about football, but you can see why he likes going to Brian Quick.
1st and 10 from the Montana 35. Moore with the carry, dancing in the backfield. And now he's got himself a corner. And he's knocked out of bounds at about the 26-yard line.
When your leader, Armani Edwards, goes and picks up a block, this is what gets this team fired up. He allowed Devin Moore a little extra time to get outside and use his speed. Look at Armani Edwards here, folks. 14 with a good block right there. And that springs just enough. Devin Moore.
So they give him the yardage for the first down. 1st and 10. Ball resting at the 25. Edwards out of the gun, fakes the handoff. Now he's in trouble, but he gets it away, avoids the sack. He's getting all kinds of pressure from Big George Mercer.
We're putting a lot of pressure on him. And he was able to just get rid of the football.
What a great scene here at Washington Grizzly Stadium. The fans, no one's left. In fact, looks like they've actually packed it even tighter with the snow coming down. Second down and 10. Edwards back to pass, has Quick across the middle. Quick breaks away from one tackle, and he's stacked up. The ball comes out at the 15, but the line judge is saying he was down.
The biggest problem when you play this Montana defense is if you're a receiver or a running back, they're going to hold you up and try to knock the ball out. Armani Edwards is finding the area of the field where there's vacated in the zone. You've got to tuck the ball away. You see they're going for it. That ball came out. Ooh, that ball came out before he went down.
More on the carry. They get the play off. Sean Lebsock on the stop.
App State usually looks to the sideline. They went quickly because that was a fumble.
Head coach Jerry Moore recognizing they did not want to take a chance of having that overturned. Quick's got 7 receptions already for 110 yards.
The guys up in the booth are the ones that will tell you, go quickly if they see the replay.
Second down and 10. Ball resting just inside the 15. Edwards looking for someone. Scrambling. Finally will take the sack. He's dropped at about the 19-yard line. Austin Mullins comes up and pushes him back 6 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
Great coverage by the secondary. They had everyone locked up. Armani Edwards had nowhere to go, and another reason he couldn't get away, he was into the boundary side of the field. Not a lot of room. You see the front guys are making sure they keep him in front. All of those front 4 guys made sure that he didn't get out of their sights where he could not harm them with his legs.
And a big 3rd and 15. Edwards goes up top, has a man. Ball's knocked free. He had Quick open, but Shan Schillinger came over and broke it up.
Craig Pawson and the defensive coaches talked about Shan Schillinger being able to play like a corner with his speed and his ball skills. Right there, he had great coverage on Brian Quick. One-on-one coverage that time, no cover two, and look at Schillinger. He didn't even look for the ball. Great job of knocking it out with his right hand.
So they bring on Jason Viteris. This will be a 36-yard field goal into the snow and wind. Blocked. Trumaine Johnson comes up with the ball. Sensational special teams play by the Grizzly. A Bobby Houck trademark.
You want your guys to win in all phases of the game. But if you come away and don't allow any points, that's how you win ball games.
Grizz on top, 14-10, trying to get to Chattanooga. Sell rolls out, has a man free. Big number 87, Dan Bowden. Remember, he went out in the first half with an injury, Charles, but he's back now making a huge reception. Mark Legree on the stop.
Nice play, bootleg, get the pocket moving. Even though there was pressure, he was able, Sell, to find Bowden, who you said earlier went out. None of this would have happened had not Austin Mullins blocked that kick. Austin Mullins with an outstanding job of blocking the field goal.
1st and 10. Ball at the 47. Sell looking. Goes out deep. Has a man. Reception made. Steve Thaler. And the defender certainly thought he was pushed off. Mark Legree is looking for a yellow flag on the white turf. A 23-yard pickup.
Legree was between Sell and Thaler. And I thought, wow, interesting, he fell down, but maybe he's saying he got pushed. Thaler locates the ball. Both of them look like receivers, but Thaler was able to just stay in there and catch the football.
Dominic McDuffie came over to make the stop, but not before another Grizzly first down. Ball now resting at the 25. And this is TBF. They call him Thomas Brooks Fletcher, the most inspirational player on the team. He'll pick up 2 yards. Well, the NCAA Division I Football National Championship game is next Friday, December 18th at 8 p.m. on ESPN2 as the winner of our game meets number 2 seeded Villanova. For more information, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. 2nd down and 8. Sell back to pass, has his man, it's intercepted. Jacques Roman has the ball and he's off and running all the way to the 50, and then the ball comes out. They're saying he was down on the ground. Alex Verlanik has the ball, but they're saying Roman was already on the ground after the interception.
We talked about Jacques Roman being a guy that has to make plays. You see he read that perfectly, goes and takes the football away. And right here, he's hustling. He knows he's going to have guys coming to get him. The ball doesn't come out till it comes out as he hits the ground. But the line judge made the call right away.
Yeah,
it comes out after he hits the ground.
And despite the weather, Charles, that is our first turnover of the game. So Appalachian State takes over at the 50. Comes out firing. Blake Elder. Down to the 44. Eric Stoll on the coverage, a 7-yard pickup.
You get the sense of urgency between both of these ball clubs, knowing that their playoff lives are on the line. That's Jacques Roman's 2nd interception on the year.
2nd down and 3. Ball at the 43. Moore with the ball, up the middle, has room. Moore all the way down to the 25-yard line. Shan Schillinger has to come over and make the stop, and it's a 17-yard pickup for the Mountaineers.
Good blocking inside. They just do a good job of locking people up, and Daniel Kilgore with that last block to spring Devin Moore. And always tuck the ball away. You see those Montana defenders trying to take it away from you.
Player down on the field, that's Andrew Swink, the backup cornerback from Rowland Heights, California. And with more on the carry. Breaks away from one tackle, finally brought down at the 18-yard line. Extra effort there. He picks up 7 yards.
Talk about the junior out of Mebane, North Carolina. He's starting to feel his groove now, and he wants the ball. This is when running backs want the ball in this kind of weather. Every time he's getting contact, he's tucking the ball away, not allowing them to strip it from him and picking up extra yards.
Nice snap. Edwards handles it, gives it to Moore. Moore all the way up to about the 12-yard line. A pickup of 6 yards. Brandon Fisher, head coach Jeff Fisher's son, makes the stop. Well, there is Jerry Moore in his 21st season here, originally from Texas. He's coached with a lot of great men, and he's done a lot of great things, especially in the SO Conference.
Great stories about Hayden Fry and some of his other coaching buddies that he's been around a long time.
And we want to give congratulations to him and his wife celebrating their 50th anniversary this month. Armani Edwards casually strolling up to the line, finally knocked out of bounds at the 9 by Sean Lebsock, a pickup of 4.
This offensive line for App State has really come off the ball this drive. Keeping the ball on the ground, allowing Devin Moore and Armani Edwards an opportunity to pick up some yards on the ground.
Both teams, Charles, here to start the second half. Great drives sustained by the run. 2nd down and 7. Edwards comes up firing, had his man breaking through just behind him. He was looking for Matt Klein on the slant.
Matt Klein clearly took it in too far. Armani wanted him to stay outside where there was no defense. He would have caught the ball and may have gone in for 6. He sees the blitz coming. Matt Klein does the right read of the blitz, but he just needs to stay out a little further on his stem.
3rd down and 7. Ball at the 8. Edwards will keep it himself. And Edwards is stacked up at about the 4-yard line. And that will bring up a 4th down for Jerry Moore. Eric Stoll came up and delivered a shot to Armani Edwards.
He's a big Brett Favre fan. That's why he wears number 4. I don't know if he likes quarterbacks too much. Look at the closing speed there. Eric Stoll with a nice job of coming over and not allowing Armani Edwards to pick up that 1st down.
And on 4th and 2, the Mountaineers are going for it. And Edwards down to the goal line. He's got the 1st down, not into the end zone. They almost burned the play clock there, Charles, and that would have been disastrous.
Placed at the 1-yard line.
He has to go and give the offensive line whatever the play is coming from the side. It starts with Brad Glenn up in the top and goes all the way down. You're going to see them coming down to the bottom of your screen, and Armani Edwards getting behind those offensive linemen. Pat Mills, Mario Acatelli. Acatelli, an honorable mention All-American in 2008.
9th play of the drive, 1st and goal, ball at the 1. Moore. Touchdown, App State. And the Mountaineers answer on a 9-play drive, chews up all kinds of clock, and Charles, they were successful on the ground and in the air.
And all of those offensive players better go over and thank Jock Roman for that interception and return.
9 plays, 50 yards, 3 minutes and 28 seconds is what they chewed up after the Jock Roman interception. This is Jason Viteris on for the extra point. And Viteris is good. So the Mountaineers back in front. 17-14, Appalachian State playing for the right to go to Chattanooga next week and play for the title. We'll be back to Missoula after this.
And we ain't holding back, we're laying it on the line. This is our destiny. It's time not to
The hardy fans at Washington Grizzlies Stadium have not left as they are hoping their team can pull out a victory here and advance to Chattanooga to face Villanova in the FCS Championship. Todd Harris along with Charles Arbuckle, 17-14, Appalachian State on top as we've got 3:52 to play here in the third quarter. The weather has changed dramatically. It was cold to start the game, but it was clear, and now you can see what is delivered through the mouth of the Hellgate Canyons. Is there a better name?
No, not at all.
It says it perfectly here. Sam Martin set to kick off for the Mountaineers. Jabin Zambrano from the 10. Zambrano runs in his own man, and then he finds a host of Mountaineers, finally knocked out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Well, there's your running back comparison on the day. Reynolds getting it done, of course, for the Grizz with 2 touchdowns. Moore matching him. Both of them have 2. What have you seen that you like?
To start that last drive, Moore was only averaging 2.2 yards per carry. He was effective with running downhill. They started running him up the middle, not outside so much. But I think for Reynolds, keep the ball in his hands. Let him be effective against this App State defense.
Chase Reynolds, the junior from Drummond, Montana, played 8-man football in high school, made the transition to 11-man, and has done just fine. He has the ball now. On first down, he reverses field, and he's still on his feet, dragging DJ Smith for a pickup of 7 yards.
Well, Todd, most running backs are insulted if they get tackled by the first man. That was a prime example of Chase Reynolds fighting off the initial defender and picking up more yards.
And with that carry, he goes over 100 yards, 103 officially for Reynolds. More importantly, his team trails by 3 with 3:16 to play here in the third quarter. Reynolds with the carry off the right-hand side. And the offensive line, Charles, is doing a fantastic job for Reynolds.
Teran Hillsland and Chris Dyke on that side behind the right side of the line of scrimmage. And then Chase Reynolds is able to just pick through there. You can also see Dan Bowden, the big tight end, 6'5", 252. They're hitting the edge and really getting out there running the ball effectively. That is going to open up the pass when they have to throw the football.
First down for Montana from the 40. Sell out of the gun, sets up the screen. He's got Reynolds open. Reynolds will pick up another 5. And this is the kind of drive, Charles, that Montana had going until Sell had that pass intercepted by Jacques Roman.
You know, interesting about Sell, he wanted to play quarterback because his brother played, but then when he was younger, he couldn't. Here's a nice throw by him down the field of Reynolds to the screen. He was too big. He said he always had to play offensive line, and then finally when he got his chance when he got to high school, he never let it go.
Second down and 4. We'll let you know the ball is at the 45-yard line. Reynolds on the handoff. Breaking tackles up to about the 50, and that's where they're going to mark him down. A pickup of 5 yards. DJ Smith comes over and makes the stop. Coming up at 8 Eastern tonight on ESPN, Chris Fowler hosts our coverage of the Heisman Trophy presentation. The greatest thing about this, Charles, is the discussion, and then followed up by The U, part of ESPN's 30 for 30 presented by Levi's. A great series all year long I've really enjoyed. But talking about the Heisman Trophy, everyone's talking who should get it, who will get it. Who do you think will get it and who should get it?
Well, the biggest thing about it this year is it's so wide open. I thought before the Nebraska game, Colt McCoy was going to win it, for sure. But then Mark Ingram plays well, so those two guys are kind of my front runner. But Ndamukong Suh has just come on strong like a horse in third place in the Kentucky Derby. And he looks like he wants to get into. Everybody is talking about this guy now from the pro level down to Little League football. They want to say Ndamukong Suh is the man.
He reminds me a lot of Haloti Ngata.
That man has to be upset with that first down.
Jerry Moore in his 21st year already has 3 FCS national titles in Boone. First and 10. Reynolds picking his way through the line, finds a hole. Reynolds is free. Still on his feet. Chase Reynolds finally running out of bounds at the 18 by Mark Legree, but a 33-yard pickup.
this offensive line coming off, and they're doing a good job. But what he's going to do is pick that hole and go here, and that's the one man he's got to beat. Legree, look at that offensive line, and then he picks that hole. When he does, he finds it. Good blocking downfield, though. That's the one thing about these wide receivers. They know they're not going to be involved in the pass game, but they will block for Chase Reynolds.
Under a minute to play here in the third quarter, and the Grizz are driving. Reynolds again has blockers on the left-hand side, cuts it back. He's tackled at about the 14-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards. DJ Smith again in on the stop.
You know, Todd, I think he's surprising the App State defenders with his ability to cut back. You would think that the field is not good. Also, these guys don't see each other. They haven't played in over 10 years. So they don't know each other's tendencies. But Chase Reynolds is a very good cutback back, and he has more speed than I think people give him credit for.
On 2nd down and 8, Charles, we set this game up as a quarterback duel, and it's turned into a running back duel between Chase Reynolds and Devin Moore of App State. Sell out of the gun. Has no one open, has to throw it away. Initially, it looked like he wanted to get it to Chase Reynolds, but Reynolds was well covered, and that will bring quarter number 3 to a conclusion. So with 1 quarter to play, both of these teams trying to punch their ticket to Chattanooga next Friday night to take on Villanova for the national championship. Who will prevail? Stick around and find out. Division I semifinal presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Our score, Appalachian State 17, Montana 14, as we start the fourth quarter amid a winter storm warning. And you are exactly right, SportsCenter is next.
It'll be tough guys in football, though, and ladies. They're all withstanding the storm.
3rd and 8. Sell back to pass for the Grizzlies. Oh, and nearly picked off. First on the catch and then on the deflection, Dominic McDuffie almost had it. And Gainey had a shot at it as well.
They both had a chance at the football. And I think Andrew Sell thought his receiver was going to take it up further, so he just threw it to that spot. But it hung up in the air. And there you see Gainey with the shot at it. And then it comes out of his hands. And Dominic McDuffie had a chance at it.
Either way you look at it, he was thrown into the double coverage. So that'll bring on Brody McKnight. This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt to tie it. And he's 11 of 12 under 40 yards. And the crowd's reaction says it all. We're all even in Missoula. So Bobby Houck has got his team tied up, looking to take the next step to Chattanooga. The perfect storm, we are perfect, dead even. 17 all, 14-50 to play in this game as we take a look at our Coke Zero game track. And the scene from Washington Grizzly Stadium at the mouth of Hell Gate Canyon says it all. Pretty even, of course, time of possession in the favor of the Mountaineers.
17 all is what I look at to score. These teams both playing some physical football in this type of condition. What could you expect? Haven't played in 10 years. You can see why now they're going to have a home and home.
Now, you're not trying to fly tonight, so I'll go ahead and jinx you. The last time these teams met here, it went to overtime.
Oh, yeah. We could watch a couple of overtimes for all I care with these two ball clubs.
Not if the ball keeps coming off the tee. This has got to be the top.
Reminds me of Oxen Stadium up in Oregon. One of the smallest but loudest places in college football.
Ball's fumbled. And let the scrum begin. It looked like App State came up with it.
They're signaling App State. Huge missed opportunity for Montana. Wow.
And they do.
I mean, it is.
Watch this replay.
Yeah, it is so slick. Radford lets the ball hit off of him. He's swimming for it.
Oh. Sherman Holt finally comes up with the ball for the Mountaineers. And the fans are into it. Despite the cold temperatures, they say it's around 0. Winter storm warning in effect here in Missoula. And the Grizz have shut out their opponents in the fourth quarter 3 of the last 4 games. Can they do it again? Edwards with the carry off the left-hand side. And he's finally cut down at about the 35-yard line, a pickup of 8 yards. Eric Stoll, very busy from a safety position, came over to make the stop.
And Monty Edwards a little slow to get up. But that offensive line, in particular the left side, did a nice job of creating some space for him.
Charles, do you see him playing on Sundays next year?
I mean, he is a winner.
Yeah.
You know, pros love winners. And I don't see why he wouldn't get a chance. He may not start right away, but you think of Seneca Wallace, who's not over 6 foot.
Second down and 3, and this play is going nowhere. Big stop. Austin Mullins comes in to make the stop as Devin Moore didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Sam White does some games for him. He's talked about him. He's been a quarterback guru. Other scouts that I've talked to have said, this guy has a chance, especially with the advent now of the Wildcat formation, but his ability to pass the football is what's surprising.
Third down and 3. Edwards getting pressure, finds his man, number 8, Brian Quick, and Quick is injured as he got bent up. Eric Stoll just drilled him. Well, App State, 3 consecutive national championships. First, they defeat Northern Iowa 21-16 back in 05. Move ahead to 06. Kevin Richardson runs for 179 yards, scores all 4 touchdowns. App State, they beat UMass, 2nd straight. Then they go for the 3-peat and mighty Delaware, and they get it done 49-21. Back to action, it's Moore. They'll push forward about a yard, maybe 2. Jace Palmer comes in and makes a stop. Palmer, another player who was injured but is now back in. That is the 3-peat that head coach Jerry Moore in 21 seasons in Boone has been able to do. And there are the other teams, FCS and FBS, that have been able to pull that off. Not many.
It's out in Texas where Jerry's from. They talk about big hat, no cattle. He's got big hat and a lot of cattle with those rings.
Second down and 8. Edwards feeling the pressure, has a man wide open. Matt Klein was able to escape all coverage, and I mean all coverage, 26-yard pickup.
Tyler, Monty Edwards isn't worried about the pros. He's worried about beating the blitz, which he does here with Matt Klein. Middle of the field, wide open. So you want to play a little football, don't you? And Matt Klein was hurt earlier in the game by Keith Thompson. Comes back, makes a huge catch.
One of the biggest ovations of the day was for an App State player when he was absolutely drilled on the far sideline and ran off the field.
These people know good football when they see it.
1st and 10. Edwards pumps once, decides to go for it all. Picked off. Shan Schillinger with quite possibly the biggest interception of his career.
Drove 8 hours when he was in high school just to make sure the coaches knew that he was interested in playing here. Well, they know who he is now by plays like this. 4th interception on the year. Bad throw, bad decision by Armani Edwards. He had been doing so well. But Shan Schillinger with a huge interception here in the 4th quarter.
His father, Jim, played running back in Montana at 69-70, and he received the award this year for the player that best exemplifies Grizzly football. One turnover apiece. Head coach Bobby Houck hoping his team now can get some points on the board and get the victory. And they go back to TBF. That's Thomas Brooks Fletcher, the young man from Bellevue, Washington, played his prep ball at Interlake High School.
He's battled throughout his career with some injuries as well, but just they like what he does. I mean, Chase Reynolds is the starter, but they say this guy is such a leader for this ball club.
171 rushing yards for Montana. TBF, the most inspirational player on the team for the Grizzlies. 2nd down and 6. Again, it's Brooks Fletcher making the most of the opportunity. A pickup of 8 yards. DJ Smith brings him down. Well, if you're just joining us, we welcome you to Washington Grizzlies Stadium in beautiful Missoula at the mouth of the Hellgate Canyon. This game to decide who goes to the FCS National Championship next Friday in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The other opponent there will be Villanova. This is Reynolds. Chase Reynolds back into the game. He'll pick up 3 yards. Michael Frazier comes up and makes the stop. Alongside Charles Arbuckle, the UCLA tight end great, who never played in weather like this. I am Todd Harrison. Buck had a chance to throw the ball around on the field before the game. It stinks.
I played with the Indianapolis Colts, so we practiced in this. We didn't have those indoor bubbles. We would go to Green Bay or wherever. It does hurt you, but you got to be tough.
2nd down and 7. Under 10:25 to play in the game. Sell back to pass. Goes short. Has his tight end. That's Dan Bowden. And you see the App State players trying to strip that ball away.
Nice play by Bowden of running the Y option. And the quarterback Sell knows where it's going. He has to go outside. You have inside leverage on the linebacker. You turn outside. He gets you the football for a 1st down. Easy throw and catch.
First and 10 for Montana. Ball at the 41. Sell rolling out. And he is going to get dropped for a huge loss of 10 yards. Right now, let's check in with Wendy Nix for a Sports Center in-game update.
Some breaking news on the college football coaching carousel. This just in, the new head coach at Kansas, Buffalo's Turner Gill. A year after the MAC championship, it appears Gill will be named the head coach at the University of Kansas. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Wendy. And Charles, we had the opportunity to do a game up in Buffalo this year, and we both felt that Turner Gill, certainly one of those guys that's ready to take the next step. 2nd down and 19. On the draw, Chase Reynolds, and he's going nowhere as Appalachian State's defense really rises up.
What about this defense now? 2 consecutive plays for loss. Jacques Roman, and then you come back again. You talk about 2 ball clubs fighting. I could just sit here in the stands with these folks and watch this ball game. The way they're battling each other and how physical they are, and the guys are good sportsmen. They get ruffled up a little bit, but I love the physicality of this ball game.
Winds have been a factor all game, gusting in excess of 25 miles an hour. At halftime, they said the temperature was hovering right around a balmy 0. 3rd and 23. Sell getting pressure, has to get rid of it, and he is absolutely drilled in the back. Never saw that coming as Jabari Fletcher came over from his defensive end position. The mayor makes the stop.
His cousin Nick Ferguson plays for the Texans. He's just going to get around that block. Great job of hands. Gets his hands inside, gets him down, and that's against Levi Horn, who's a good pass defender.
So the interception wasted. Sean Wren on to punt it away into the wind for Bobby Houck's Grizzlies. Traveris Cadet gets away from it. It'll be down at about the 19-yard line. A 35-yard punt, and that's where Armani Edwards and the Mountaineers will take over, trying to mount some points on the board.
When he gets to the hole, how he delivers the blow right there. It was a good enough block by Pat Mills, but it was an excellent finish to the run by Devin Moore.
Brock Coyle wrestles him down to the snow-covered turf. 1st and 10 now, ball at the 49. Moore again, slashing his way through. He'll pick up another 3 yards, and the clock continues to run. Remember, under 5:40 to play. The winner moves on to the national championship to play Villanova Friday in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Todd, it just comes down. You can see Devin Moore's numbers, 1st half and 2nd half. He wants this more. And right now, that App State offensive line is just taking it to the defensive line for Montana.
2nd and 6. Edwards goes up. It's Matt Klein, the junior from Thomasville, North Carolina. That's a 12-yard pickup.
And let's not forget, last week they had to come back against Richmond. Watch Armani Edwards take the defense outside. He looks outside first and then comes in. He knows Matt Klein is going to be there. He has an outside receiver. See at the last second, his head goes back inside, right to where he wants to throw the ball at the last second.
1st and 10 from the 35. Back to Moore they go. Moore up the middle, plenty of room. Finally dragged down at the 22-yard line, a 13-yard pickup. Shan Schillinger has to come up from the safety position to make the stop.
We talked about Chase Reynolds' ability to cut back, but you got to love this cutback ability of Devin Moore, knowing the hole is going to be there, and then when he finds it, he explodes through it. Look at him. And then he's going to look up Eric Stoll and the rest of that defense.
1st and 10 from the 23. The fans at Washington Grizzlies Stadium trying to make a difference. 2nd down and 15. Ball resting at the 27. Edwards back to pass. Has his man right through the hands of Devin Moore.
Good idea for the play. You're 2nd and long, pick up some more yards and try to get a 1st down. Clearly, you want to give your field goal kicker the best opportunity, so you definitely can't lose yards here.
There's Brandon Fisher, the senior from Franklin, Tennessee, in on the coverage. So this is the big one, the big 3rd and 15 for App State.
You see them huddle, semi-huddle on that one just to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Edwards will throw for it. Has his man, it's not free. He had B.J. Frazier, who was short of the 1st down yardage. But great defense by the Grizzlies.
Monty Edwards looking on the outside to B.J. Frazier. B.J. comes back to try to make the catch. Can't quite get to it. Good defense there.
And again, it's Brandon Fisher, Jeff Fisher's son, getting it done for Bobby Hauck's team. This will be a 44-yard field goal for Viteris. Remember, he made a 46 in much better conditions, and he had a 36-yarder blocked.
Appalachian State, a little chilly in Missoula. 1st quarter, no score. Chase Reynolds weaving his way through the Mountaineer defense. 39 yards for the touchdown. Montana up 7-0. Now tied at 7 in the 2nd quarter. Matt Klein about to go out into the flat, top of your screen. The flat is usually where you get flattened. Wow. Heath Thompson.
It's going to leave a mark in the morning.
Yeah, that'll change your week. Worth another peek. Klein would be okay. He'd return to grab 7 balls for 100 yards. How about a little snow? Weather gets a little nasty at halftime. Early 3rd quarter, Montana down 10-7. Reynolds again, 7 yards. Reynolds, 23 carries, 194 yards. Montana up 14-10. Now tied at 17, under 2 minutes to go. Andrew Sell hits Javen Sambrano for the touchdown. Or is it? Worth another peek. This play would be reviewed. The touchdown would stand 25 yards. Montana up 24-17. Still 24-17, under a minute to go. 4th and 10 for Appalachian State. Edwards hits Brian Quick over the middle for a gain of about 10 yards. We need a measurement. They give Appalachian State the 1st down. 1 second left. Ball on the 3-yard line. Need a touchdown. Edwards throws it to Quick, but he can't hang on. Montana wins 24-17 to go on and face Villanova for the national championship.
You saw it bring in this one. D2 championship between Northwest Missouri State and Grand Valley. 2nd quarter, Bearcats, they're up 14-0. Jordan Simmons, the big block from Trent Covington. Simmons brought down to the 20-yard line, but Matt Fluter, I think his soul actually hurts. Bearcats, they score on the next play up 21-0. 4th quarter, Grand Valley State down 23-13. All of a sudden, it's a 23-20 count. That's Blake Smolin for the 3-yard strike. Later, Blake Bowles to Jake Soy. 26-yard touchdown. Northwest Missouri State wins the D2 National Championship, 3rd championship in school history.